Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Chlorinated Thoughts. I'm your host, Leah Chulak, and today I have a pretty good topic, I believe. I am recording literally in I don't know what this is called. Is it called a stairway? I'm recording in a stairway of a hotel because my roommate is still sleeping in our hotel room. Obviously, I don't want to record in front of her because these podcasts I do in my own time when no one is there, because that's when I feel the most myself, and that would kind of be weird if I'm just recording in front of someone. I don't know. I find that pretty weird. Why are we at a hotel, you may ask? Well, we are at our conference championship for the season. It's basically to end the season off. All these people or teams in your conference come together and we have a meet. Basically after this there's NCAAs, which is all the conferences coming together. So it's all the teams and all the collegiate teams in America competing. You have to qualify for that, and I don't know if I'm going. I'm probably not gonna be going this year, but never say never. I don't know. I have 4 years to make NCAAs, so that's not really a big issue in my life right now if I don't make it. So that is just an update on where I am, what I'm doing at a hotel. We are currently in Washington. That's where the meet is going to be. The meet starts tomorrow morning, but the meet actually starts this afternoon with a bunch of relays, but obviously I'm not in the relays. I'm a distance swimmer. I don't really swim relays, but it'll be nice to cheer on the team. I want to record this podcast now because I want to give myself some words of encouragement, as well as share that to you guys, because I really do think what I've written down in my podcast notes right now is really valuable, and it can be really valuable for a lot of people. This topic stemmed from a conversation I had with my boyfriend, actually. I was telling him about how I feel like my efforts in swimming and my efforts when I had mono and stuff have been overlooked by people that I feel should be encouraging me, or at least appreciating the fact that I did work so hard even when I did have mono. I feel that has not come about. So I was talking to him about it, and I was well, if all these people don't believe in me, then why should I believe in myself? And he was well, that's not how you should look at it. You should look at it in a way where it's you that has to believe in yourself. No one else can really take that away from you if you believe in yourself, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Outside noise is just outside noise. It's just background noise. There's no reason to take all of that to heart and overanalyze that information. For some reason, a thought of 5-year-old me came into my head, and I was if the childhood me would be talking to me today, seeing me today, and seeing how I'm talking about myself, or how I'm telling myself that I can't do something, she would be so disappointed, because when she had all these dreams and aspirations at 5 years old of being an Olympian, all these naive thoughts when you're younger, because there's no one else influencing you yet to tell you otherwise. You really just do believe everything that you say. Honestly, teared up when I was talking about it. I was it would break my heart if she would come up to me and tell me something and I would be no, you can't do that. Basically, is what I'm trying to say is you owe it to yourself to achieve all your goals and aspirations and be the best you that you possibly can be. But if that motivation isn't enough to owe it to your current self, you owe it to your childhood self to be the best version of you that you can be. Because all the hope and dreams that she had, or they had, when they were younger, if you were to talk to them today and you would tell them all these things that you were thinking, or all of these goals that you let go of because you told yourself that you weren't good enough, think of how upset they would be. Every goal that you had in mind that over time deteriorated because of lack of self-belief or negative self-talk or all these things happening that make you believe you can't achieve it, can't do it, can't go forward with it, is crushing the childhood self that believes in you. You don't want to crush your childhood self. Your childhood self is the soul in you that keeps you alive. It keeps you wanting to strive for more. And we need to reimplant that naivety in our minds. Being naive usually has a negative connotation, like you don't know the repercussions of things, or you just are not well informed about the world. But I think being naive is one of the most magical things that you can be gifted. When I look at a constant pattern in like anyone that is successful, they have to be naive to be able to achieve what they have. One day when you start to think to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to build $1 billion business and I'm going to be a billionaire. You just start doing it. A person that isn't so naive would be like, well, all of these things in my current reality are telling me that I can't do that. So why would I be able to do that? Okay, well, why are you telling yourself that? Like the naive person would be like, obviously my surroundings aren't what I want them to be right now, but I know that I'll be able to do it because I believe in myself. Despite everything that is pointing towards no, I still am able to act and take the steps to lead the signs to as many yeses as possible. And in turn, that naivety helps you block out the outside opinions and helps you block out really your own negatives. I've been journaling every 3 days or 2 days, whenever really I have time or whenever I want to just say what's on my mind, just really quickly write it down. Some positive things redirecting me to see things in a positive way. I've never really been a religious person. I'm not really a religious person, but I have a wide variety of things I believe in from all aspects of religion that resonate with me, and I decide to take those and I guess create my own belief system, but all of them are based upon other religious beliefs. Anyways, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to see what the Bible quote of the day is. I just wrote in Bible quote of the day online. I can just put one of these quotes into my journal and then see how much it resonates with today's day and stuff. And what the crazy thing is that day I wrote about, I am able to achieve everything and I will get through these hard times. That was when I had mono. This was back in January, I believe, when I wrote this journal entry. I'm capable of doing anything and no one will stop me and things like that. I only checked the quote after I've already written my journal entry. The quote of the day was, "The one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind." I think this quote is so powerful, and since I've read it, I've thought about it so much. The one who doubts is like a wave in the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. If you're doubting yourself, if you're doubting what you believe in, if you're doubting your source, it is going to mess you up. It is going to toss you around and around and around. Because if you don't have a firm belief in yourself, how are you expecting the universe, or how are you expecting God, or how are you expecting anything that you believe in to believe in you if you yourself cannot believe in you? If you're doubting all of the things you're doing, if you're doubting everyone else around you, how are you able to stand tall and mighty and say, I can do this, if all of these doubts are coming into your head, especially about you? Self-doubt makes you weak. It makes you fragile, like water slipping out of your hands, like waves tossed by the sea when there's a lot of wind. Think of yourself as a beautiful, nice, sunny day when the sea is just still. There's nothing really going on and everything is calm. When you reach that state, what you see is, who is anyone to tell you how well you're doing? Do they know your thoughts? Do they know your feelings? Do they know how much you've cried, how much you've put into what you believe in? No. Another reason why you owe it to yourself to believe in yourself and not let go of that vision, that dream that you have. You want to succeed because you want to show that it's a huge fuck you to everyone who did you wrong, to everyone who doubted you, to everyone who once told you you couldn't do something. Keep in mind when you start to doubt yourself, keep in mind that feeling. You're like, I cannot let them win. I need to let myself win. You cannot let that demon in you, you cannot let that voice in you win that says you're not able to achieve what you want to achieve. But it's also a way to build your confidence. If you are able to battle that inner voice telling you negative things, you're going to build that confidence up so high, and you're going to quiet down that small voice until you can just shut it up. And another reason is you feed your inner child. You need to feed your inner child to be able to keep yourself going and to keep yourself staying as naive as possible regarding your vision for the future. Think of how happy it's going to make your inner child when you do succeed and do achieve everything that she once dreamed of. You also want to succeed because it is an appreciation to everyone who believed in your vision. Everyone who once invested in you, believed in you, hold on to those things, because we as humans have a tendency to really just look at all the negative things that are happening, or just think of all the negative things that people are saying to you or thinking of you, and we tend to really forget the positive feedback that we do get from everyone around us. A way that I tried to encourage this positive environment, or these positive people in my life, is sometimes they say things and they don't even realize that they're being negative. They're just really being, I guess, realistic in quotation marks, which is stupid. But for example, my mom, basically it was a medal at Junior European Championships. This was in 2021, and my practices were going really good, and I was projected to win a medal. And I was so fixated on winning a medal. I envisioned it every day. I had guided meditations every day, just going and going. And I used to talk to my mom about it like I was definitely going to win the medal. So when we were going in the car, I would tell her, yeah, so when I get that bronze medal or silver medal or gold medal at the Junior Europeans, after I come back, we can go for vacation. I said something like that. Her reaction was oh, really? Okay, well, Leah, don't be sad if you don't win that medal. And then that doubt seeps in. A lot of my life, I've had people undermining me or just thinking of the worst case scenario when it comes to achieving a result. My coach back home, whenever we would count if I would get into a final of an event or how I would get into a final of an event, he would count in literally all the people that had times that were 8 seconds slower than me, because he's just thinking of the worst case scenario. If I swam the worst possible ever in the prelims, how I would get into the final. And that is something that at the time I didn't think it was so detrimental, but now I'm that is the worst possible thing that someone can tell you is, okay, well, if you swim super bad, you can still get in the final or something like that. My coach is the one who sees me every day. My coach is the one who sees me, cry and get through every hard practice. And if I'm talking to my coach about it and my coach is saying it's just from this negative standpoint, even though my practices have been going super good, I'm going to start and doubt myself. So what I'm trying to say with this is there are going to be these people that just in their root, I'm not saying my mom is like this, it's coming out of love, but when usually most people think in lack, when these people try to tell you that, they're coming from a negative headspace or a headspace of lack, you need to try and talk to them and tell them, hey, this isn't really working for me. I know obviously you know in your mind that what you're saying is not true yet. You want to make it the most realistic it can be, telling your loved ones, or literally even telling your coach or your peers or your mentors to encourage this positive mindset, and even they can play into the role. So for example, if I was to tell my mom then, hey mom, like I really don't like hearing that even you as my mom is telling me that I need to think realistically. I need to not be sad if I don't achieve this. Can you please just encourage me? Also bring up the fact that I am able to achieve a medal and have a firm belief that I will achieve that medal. That affirms the belief in myself that I am actually able to achieve that medal or whatever it is in whatever context that you have. And I have talked to my parents about it, and they're like, okay, well, obviously we're going to help you and we love you and we're going to affirm things to you that obviously haven't happened yet, but that's how you build up that strong positive belief system. My next point is, how dare you doubt yourself? We never question ourselves on like the audacity we have to be able to tell ourselves we can't do something. Whenever someone else tells me I can't pass Mat 210, I'm like, how the fuck dare they tell me I can't do something? That is insane. When it comes to ourselves and we're talking to ourselves in a bad way, why is it that I think about it and I'm like, maybe I can't do it. Maybe I'm not able to do it. That is literally like someone else telling you you can't do something. So I don't understand why we have the audacity and the guts to say something like that. Just rewarding all the people that love to watch you fall. It is so insulting to yourself. Does that feel nice? No. Ending this little You Owe It to Yourself podcast, I wanted to create a little guide for when you feel lost. My source of this guide to when you feel lost is your childhood self. To me, when I thought of my childhood self, even now when I'm thinking of my childhood self, it brings up a spark in me. It lights a fire in me that keeps me motivated and keeps me wanting to keep going and please that 5-year-old self that I was when I was younger. So when you feel lost, I want you to do these things. Number 1, find a childhood picture of yourself. Find a picture that resonates with you. Find a baby picture and just take a long look at it. Think back on everything she dreamed of. Think back on everything she told her parents she would be when she grew up. Will she be an astronaut? Will she be an Olympian? Will she be a fairy? Yes, she will be. Right now, you definitely have a picture of your childhood self on your phone right now. Look at that picture of yourself. I'm gonna give you a few minutes. Just let it fill you up. See what's happening in the picture, what facial expressions you have, how you must have felt in that picture. Then think back on everything she dreamed of. Every little thing. What did she want to be? What were the things she told her parents? Let those feelings of naivety, of aspiration, of inspiration, of hope fill you up. Let's take 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Stay with those feelings again. Now try to channel those feelings and thoughts into power. You can feel it in your body. I can feel it in my shoulders. I can feel it in my head. All that power just coming back to me through my childhood self. Think of one thing that you really want to achieve at this moment. Regain that vision. Think of what it would feel like when you achieved that vision. Close your eyes and picture it in your mind of you achieving whatever you want to achieve. Now sit with it a little bit. And if you want to, you can pause this video and just sit with it some more. But when you feel those feelings again and you feel clear again about your vision, I want you to come back, open your eyes, and continue listening to this podcast. So the last thing I want you to do is that childhood photo that you were just looking at. I want you to place that childhood photo somewhere for easy access. So for me, while I was on the plane flying here to Washington, I placed that photo as my lock screen for throughout this competition. It's basically me, and my grandpa is in the background, who has sadly passed away. I think that provides an extra source of power that my grandpa's in the photo too, because I know he's looking down on me and he is hoping for the best. And that is all I can hope for too. I feel like that was a short little guided meditation on when you feel lost. Let that guide you and help you regain your power again, help you regain your vision again. I think that is really all I have for you guys today. Honestly, when I was writing out this podcast, I felt so powerful. I felt like everything really that I wrote in this mind map, because that's how I plan out my podcast, were just things that were really powerful and really resonated with me. So I hope that you felt that as well. I'm really happy that I could record this podcast before the meet, because I needed it. Hopefully it's going to serve you in a good way. Make an oath to yourself right now that you will honor your childhood self and please your childhood self if your current self doesn't seem like a big enough motivation. Make sure to follow and also rate this podcast. I will see you guys next week with another episode. I hope you have a beautiful day or night wherever you are, and I will talk to you next week. Bye!